What's up guys, it's Mohammed here once again with part 2 of our war recap from the weekend. I'm going to start with one of my attacks against a Town Hall 9, pretty maxed out base. And I just want to talk a little bit about how I planned out the start of this attack, because it didn't quite go to plan. What I wanted to do originally was to destroy the cannon and the archer tower, and hopefully at the same time get out all of the clan castle. And then the idea was that that would, by destroying them, give me space to kill the clan castle off in the corner. Then I had a giant and a wizard, and I was going to use them. If you see right at the top there, the elixir collectors, I was going to use those to destroy the elixir collectors to make a break in the ring of trash buildings. And then I was hoping that my clan castle killing troops would make the other break where all of the gold mines are. And from there I was going to drop in my king and my queen and hope that they'd go directly to the air defence, and at that point they'd also draw out the queen. But as you'll see, a couple of things don't quite go to plan, and I probably didn't bring enough troops to deal with, so in a way I got a little bit lucky here. I guess my criticism of my own attack would be I brought too many balloons, and I brought the bare minimum of troops to do all the other jobs, and it went wrong, and it nearly went badly wrong, but in the end I managed to rescue it. So you'll see here I've brought my luring troops. It looks like quite a lot because I've got the giant, and I think there's 4 hogs gone down there, but actually once that Tesla pops, the DPS on them is pretty high, and they don't quite get all of the clan castle troops out. I think it's just one wizard, so it's not a big deal, but still it's not great. And there you can see they go over to my anchor, and then I deploy my clan castle to destroy the defensive clan castle. And again, it's just not quite enough. You can see they've already hit the wizard once, and in a second they're going to destroy the wizard, and my witches are much further forward than I'd like them to be, so I have to deploy another wizard off to the side, and that means I've now only got one wizard which I'm going to deploy at the top to break the ring of trash buildings, and again one giant. And what happens here is the giant goes down, and because there's just one wizard he hasn't really done much of a job, and he goes down. And it's this point I kind of realised it wasn't going to work, so I needed to create a funnel using my king. But it had worked on the other side. The clan castle killing troops had made the funnel from the other side, so I was okay. I dropped in my queen at that point, and she didn't go walkabout. So I kind of sacrificed my king and dropped in my queen. You'll notice there she targeted the wall before anything else, which was annoying, but she did get in there, kill the air defence, and then kill the queen. But really there I just benefited from the fact that my heroes are maxed out for Town Hall 9. I think if I was using level 12 heroes I would have been in trouble. And now, from this point it's not so difficult. I'm just going to deploy my balloons in a clockwise motion, which helps the balloons go in towards the centre. You'll notice I tried to deploy a balloon over the hidden Tesla. What I don't want is my balloons to go in and then go back out again. I want them always moving inwards. So when that popped, actually sorry, it popped early, but you know, once I saw that I thought I've got to take that out, otherwise the balloons are going to go left. It didn't quite work, but the idea was sound. You know, you don't want your balloons going in, out and zigzagging. You want them moving in towards the middle without bunching, so don't just deploy them all in the same place. But you don't want them being distracted and moving out, because that's when you start to waste rages. And there you can see from there it's a fairly straightforward win. I didn't have a whole lot of cleanup troops. Again, like I said, I had a lot of balloons. I probably didn't need to take that many balloons for that base. I think I took out a Town Hall 10 with the same amount of balloons. So for a Town Hall 9 it was maybe overkill. But luckily all the hounds popped, which meant I had plenty of cleanup pups. So yeah, a kind of interesting attack. I had to improvise a little bit on the fly, but it worked out alright in the end. But yeah, I think it was Mountain that was asking, did I mean for the king to go around? Well, when I pictured the attack, no I didn't, but when I realised I wasn't going to create the funnel, I thought better to sacrifice him and have a chance of creating a funnel, rather than have no funnel and fail to kill the queen altogether. So I just wanted to quickly go over a couple of things to take away from that attack. The first is, I kind of threw away my king there, but I did it so that I could rescue the raid. You know, I sometimes see people, their lure doesn't quite go right, and they just think, oh heck, I'll go for it and throw in their hogs, or heck, I'll go for it and throw in their balloons. But really, if your strategy requires you to do a lure, you need to complete it no matter what. Or if it requires you to break the ring and get into the queen, you've got to do it. So it's worth sacrificing a couple of troops to get that lure or get that queen kill. Okay, you might run out of time at the end because you wasted your king, or you might not get 100%, but you might get no stars or 1 star if you don't do it, because a lot of these attacks can easily be stopped if the heroes are still alive. And the other thing was just, where did I place my rages? I think it's an interesting point. You know, you want to make good use of your rages. Well, there's two obvious places, and it's over the two groups of four defences at the bottom, and if you watch the video you will have seen where I put the first two rages. But when I'm looking at a base I just think, where am I going to get good value for my rage? And those are two great spots. The other one's obviously got to be over the air defence, and then in the centre with the hidden Teslas is probably the best spot for the last one once the loons start to converge. But the first two rages, they're probably the difficult ones to choose. You know, you don't want to use them too early or too late. But if you can spot 4 or 5 defences together, then that's what I'd always select. Okay, next up we've got Mountain, and I really love this attack because he completely dissects this base, you know, finds every single weakness and exploits it with the perfect troop type. So in the end it is an attack that uses a lot of different troop types, but it's not for show, you know, they're all doing a really important task. And the first task is balloons, and they're going to come in from the northwest and southwest sides and take out quite a few defences which aren't covered by air defences. If you can knock out a defence with a balloon, or perhaps 2 balloons, and not use any spells, then that's always a pretty good trade, and it's always going to be beneficial for your attack. So if you can spot defences like that, then it's almost always a good idea to go for it. The second thing is, and I'm showing you now, you wouldn't normally lure in this corner, but because the queen's so central, he's going to have to use a golem. And so he may as well lure down there, because once he drops his golem, those defences will be distracted, and the wizards and the heroes can take them out really easily. So as we watch him deploy his balloons to take out the 3 buildings, I'll just mention the last weakness, and that's if you look at the core, there's no chance that there's a double giant bomb in there, so it's really, really weak to hogs. The only risk with hogging the core would be, I suppose, that there was a giant bomb in between the lines, you know, in those free spaces. But I think if you were designing this base as the defender, you wouldn't put your bombs there because, you know, what are the chances that something's going to go over the bombs? You know, the person would have to deploy in exactly the right spot. So more likely that they're somewhere in the ring around the outside. And actually you'll see in a minute, I think some skeletons set them off down just where the timer is now. So as you can see, the golems worked well, and his king's going inside, and he's got the jump spell there to take out the enemy queen. And once she goes down, there's really nothing that can stop the hogs in the core. And if you remember, I know I'm zoomed in so you can't really see, but if you remember, there's no defences around the outside because the balloons have got them. So even with a relatively low number of hogs, he's going to finish off all of the rest of this base. And I guess it must feel weird to people, and it does to me, that he's only using 10 hogs, you know, because we used to hog bases with almost 40 hogs in some cases. Maybe not quite 40, but you know, you'd be looking to cook like 28, 32 hogs. But if you plan your attack well and you take out the queen and the clan castle and quite a few point defences, it doesn't take many hogs to knock out a core like that when there's no double giant bombs. So as I was saying, a really good attack because it showcased so many different ways that you could dissect a base and knock it out. Okay, so next up I've got King, and I really wanted to show King last week because he did some great attacks. In fact, he's on a huge streak of 3 stars, which is fantastic for the clan. But unfortunately last week obviously we had the patch and I lost the replays, but this week I got them nice and early as soon as he did the attacks, so I didn't let him down again. So let's just take a quick look at the base. It's a pretty tough base. I mean, completely maxed out defences by the looks of it, high level heroes, and he's got the lava walls to contend with as well, so to get a 3-star in this base is really good. And how's he going to do it? Well, the first thing he's going to do is he's going to use balloons from the east side. And the reason for doing that is because clearly the ring that the hogs are meant to go around follows that eastern route, and you can see there's probably going to be giant bombs between one or both of the cannons and archer towers. So he doesn't want his hogs going around there. What he wants is his hogs to go into the centre where all those defences are packed in together. And then on the western side, again, you've got the same layout, so there's a good chance of giant bombs there, but he's going to knock that out with his kill squad while he goes in to get the queen, because obviously if you're hogging, as you know, you need to get that queen down before you release your hogs. So here we go, he's going to knock out this ring of defences, and that's going to mean his hogs go down the centre rather than round the outside. So a good trade in terms of balloons, but also a good trade in terms of what it's going to do for his hogs. And now on the other side, you can see how much he's committed to this, because he's using a lot of spells and a lot of troops, and it doesn't leave him a lot of space for hogs, and he's only got 2 heals left, but that doesn't matter because he's going to have taken out so many of the point defences. So there you go, you see his king's taken out the enemy king, and they've taken out the ring now, so there's no way the hogs are going to go around that ring, they're just going to head down the middle. And what that means is he doesn't need as many spells because they're all going to stay together, and they're all going to stay within this compacted central area for quite a while, so he's going to get really good value out of his heals. First one going in at the top and then the second one going in at the bottom. You know, pretty much wrote itself, this raid, once he destroyed the 2 outer rings. And there you can just see the Hogs taking out the last few defences. And I don't think he ever even triggered the giant bombs, so did we find out where they were? I guess not. No, they don't seem to be triggered, so yeah, that worked particularly well for him there, because his Hogs never went anywhere near the bombs, and it was achieved by knocking them out with the balloons from one side and the kill squad from the other. And in the case of the kill squad, really good planning to get dual use out of that kill squad, you know, kill the queen but also break the ring so that the Hogs would go down the centre. And that'll wrap it up for this episode. Thanks for watching, guys.